Okay, guys, welcome back to Strip by Sia. We have a fun, exciting episode today. We are featuring the lovely Jennifer Summer Ashley, also known on stage as Summer Kitten Showgirl. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
she's so much cuter in person. so much shy. Well, not shyer, but quieter than I thought.
Depends on my mood.
Hopefully you're in a good mood now. But yes, we are going to be talking about a lot of things today. So aerial silks, aerial arts, law, lots of stuff. Lots of questions, guys. Holy shit, you guys sent in so many freaking questions. I don't even know how we're going to get through all of them, but we will try. So it might be a half and half episode, but we're gonna go through it. So first, let's begin. Jen, can I call you Jen?
Yeah, of course.
Do you want to go ahead and define what you do in your own words, in your own terms?
Sure. Okay, so I have a bunch of jobs. I am a stripper.
Yay.
Yay.
Things.
Yes, naked things. I am also a teacher, so I teach silks and Pilates.
Oh, Pilates too?
Yeah.
At a drawer.
No.
Elsewhere.
Yes,
well,
yes.
We can plug that shit later on.
Okay, perfect. I also am a lawyer, so I take very limited criminal defense files. And what else do I do? Oh, you know what? I just got my lash lift certification.
Okay, we're going to plug all this
so
shit.
if anybody wants their lashes lifted and tinted, let me know.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Oh my god, how do you have time to do all this?
It's just, I think you and I just mentioned it's sort of like the new millennial way. Everyone has a bunch of different gigs going on, and hopefully they all amount to one reasonable amount of income so that we can live.
That is the goal, because as we've said many times on this podcast, Vancouver is expensive.
Yes.
So, yeah, doing all the things, lots of jobs. I guess, which part do you want to go into first? There's so many different avenues.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that's most important to me is dance. Stripping is great. It also gives me the opportunity to fund other projects. So in September, I put together Circus After Dark, which was a intimate outdoor circus show, and it supported local circus artists, and it was at the Beaumont.
Right. I heard about that. I saw lots of promo for that. Looked amazing.
We're going to do it again.
Oh, yay!
Yeah.
In the summer or spring or... Well, it's outdoors.
It's going to be in the summer.
Okay, sweet.
I'm thinking of doing another event in the spring, though, so stay tuned.
Oh my gosh, I'm so
Stay
excited.
tuned.
Wait, guys, stay tuned. Okay, so how did you get started with dance? Did you have any background or training? Like, what's your story? How did you fall into stripping?
I have been dancing for as long as I can remember. I think I started when I was 3 years old. I did ballet, I did classical Chinese dance, and it's just always been my life.
It's a big part of your identity.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. I've often said, if I can't dance, I'll just die.
So dramatic.
I know people say that, but that's just how I feel.
But that's how much of an impact it's had on your life, obviously.
Yes.
You've had that from such a young age, obviously going into adulthood now, and so many different forms of dance as well. So you said ballet, obviously tons of training to do with that. It's also freaking hard. Oh my god. Ouch, my toes.
I didn't really do a lot of point work.
Okay.
I did ballet as a kid, and then I think as I got older, I stayed with Chinese dance, which was really good for character work. Mm-hmm. I did contemporary, and then I picked up pole, and then I picked up aerial work after.
Okay, in that specific order.
Yes.
Good
yes.
God, that fucking siren. I don't think I'll edit that out, but fucking siren. Fucking Kingston Street. But anyways, damn, okay, so that's a lot of work. So wait, can you go back to that? So ballet, then you did Chinese dance, and then you did...
Contemporary and modern.
Okay.
And then pole, and then aerials. Aerial work, yeah.
Holy fuck. Okay, holy crap, that's a lot of training. That's why you're so good at it.
Okay.
Alright. It helps a lot.
I get by.
They're interdisciplinary, so...
Yes, absolutely. I do think that every dance style feeds into the other one, and that's how every dancer finds his or her own unique style from their training and what they take from it.
Great. And did you get into pole just out of curiosity, or that was kind of like a next step, or you saw it? Like, how do you jump from contemporary dance?
Oh man, I always wanted to be a stripper.
Yes!
Yes.
Stripper life.
Yeah, I think I always wanted to be a stripper.
Where did that come from?
I don't remember exactly, but I do have one memory of being quite young, and I was watching a movie or something, and there was this girl on, I think, a swing or something like that, and she was at a club and men were throwing money at her. And I was like, that job, I want that. That is what I aspire to do with my life. And I think it was my mom or something in the room, and she was like, Jennifer, no, because she thought I didn't know what it meant, but I knew. I was like, oh no, I know what that is. I want that. So
how old were you?
I don't remember, honestly. I don't remember, but I must have been
such a vivid memory, though.
Maybe like 10 or something. Maybe.
Wow.
I don't.
So you
I don't
obviously
remember.
definitely understood at that point.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then I think pole was something that I just wanted to do for myself, because coming from ballet and classical training, you don't have any upper body muscles, you know?
Right.
You kind of have like the ability to hold your arms out in a floaty way, but arm muscles, no, right?
There are none.
Yeah, exactly. So I took up pole. I really liked it. And a few years later, I took up silks because I wanted something that was different.
Definitely different. So beautiful. I love aerial silks. It looks so beautiful.
Me too.
I just think about like Cirque du Soleil, and it just is a very, very beautiful art form.
I love it. Yeah, it's great.
What do you think is harder? Do you think pole is harder or silks?
They are both challenging in different ways. I would say, because I started with pole, it's interesting because I personally prefer conditioning on silks or trapeze or hoop, because you can use both sides equally, whereas the pole, you're almost training imbalances.
Right.
You know.
And they do say try to do it on both sides, but
even if you do it on both sides, you're always going to favor your good side if you're conditioning or if you're on stage. Even just the simple act of climbing, you've got to have one hand on top, and that's going to change the way your muscles develop.
Right.
But if you're on another apparatus, at least you have the option of using both arms equally at the same height. You know?
Interesting. That's a very technical approach.
I just have seen in my body and a lot of my friends all of the imbalances that you get from pole. And yeah, you get them from any apparatus. And you know, as part of the human body isn't completely symmetrical anyway, but I do think that pole sort of trains imbalances and sometimes makes them worse. And I know a lot of people who have injuries because of that.
So many injuries.
Yeah, so many injuries.
So
yeah. So, you know, I really try to balance out any pole training with something on a trapeze bar or silks.
Do you still pole at all?
I don't really train much, but I do have a pole at home, so I sometimes play. Oh, I took a private with Janine Butterfly. Yeah,
oh my God,
it was honestly the best. Yeah, I
I'm so
love her
jealous.
so much. She has been my pole idol since as long as I can remember.
One of my idols too.
I love her so much. And I hadn't really trained pole for a while because I was like, oh, I don't want to fuck up my body more, blah, blah. And once I took up silks, I was like, no, this is where I belong, in the air, you know? But then when I was in Vegas the last time, I set up a private with her, and it was so great. It was so amazing, yeah.
Next time. I was just
Yes.
in Vegas in September, and I ended up taking a private with Jamila.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so she was one of my
I also
idols
love her.
too, and she's fucking crazy. Like, God.
She's amazing.
Seeing her abs in person, I was like, dude.
Yeah, she's so great.
So crazy. But okay, so now, you've kind of fully, well, maybe not fully, but you're mostly involved mainly in aerial silks then.
Yes.
But you also do you also do like hoops and trapeze and other apparatuses as well, or?
I have done those apparatuses. I have a mini hoop that I travel with.
A mini one.
Yeah, it's pretty great. It's nice and easy and light, so it fits in a suitcase, which is important if you're traveling.
Wow, that is really small. Are you able to compress that, or how do you?
No, it's just, I think it's
Or is
maybe
it bendy?
No, it's maybe 12 inches in diameter.
Really mini.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Well, I just like that you can travel with it.
Same, yeah.
How bulky.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had to carry 2 giant aerial hoops down Granville Street. the middle of Saturday night before, and it was just a nightmare. They were so heavy, and people were like, "Hey, little girl, do you need help with those hula hoops?" And it was like, "They're not hula hoops." So I kept walking. Yeah, it was awful. Yeah.
Okay, so now, can you talk a bit more about your silk training and like how you incorporate that into stripping? How you would kind of incorporate all of your training actually, because you've quite an extensive amount of training.
I'm just really picky with the things that I do on stage. When I anytime before I go on stage, I sort of have goals for myself. I'm like, okay, this show I want to work on this, or this show I just want to do this. And I guess I've been very fortunate in my life to work at clubs that let me do that. So for me, I'll focus on things like bringing aerial work, or doing this thing on the bad side. Or sometimes it's just really simple, like engage your core more, or have nice floaty fingers. And so because of that, I think I like to pick out elements from my training and from my background that are important to me and incorporate them into whatever I'm doing on stage.
Where does that focus come from? Because most people, I mean...
Good question.
I wonder if that's like a cultural thing too, because you're Chinese. Your background is Chinese.
Yes, but depends who's asking if I'm at work. But yes.
Yes. I was speaking yesterday. I was recording with Naomi Weiss, and she's a Filipino dancer, and we were talking about race and stuff too, and like
nice.
The question about like, what are you? And
that's a whole other thing. Yeah.
But yeah, I wonder if that's like, again, going back to your background. I wonder if that is like a cultural thing, because I have kind of very similar mindset.
Maybe.
To you as well.
I'm not super close with my parents, but I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe. Maybe the Asian upbringing. Who knows?
I don't really feel like my parents were typical Asian.
No.
Though, to be honest, because I have friends who grew up in those households. And some of the things that they were subjected to, I never got that.
Oh, like what?
Like boys or whatever. I had friends who started dating when they were in university, and their parents were like, no.
I have friends like that,
and I was
too.
like, what? So I don't know. I mean, my parents were kind of strict with me when I was younger, but that's just because I was the first child and they just didn't know what they were doing. But I don't know if that was a cultural thing or not, because I think that's like across cultures, you know? The first kid, like, just don't die.
Yeah.
Don't want to fuck it up.
Just don't die.
Yeah. So sometimes they're overbearing because they don't know what they're doing. I don't know. Yeah.
Did they ever find out that you strip?
Oh, I told them from day one.
Oh, you told them?
Yeah.
Wow. You were super open about that.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really have a reason to hide it. I've been fortunate, really. I've been really lucky.
Were they pretty supportive of your decision in doing that? Or were just like, okay, do what you want?
The thing about my parents is that I think they learned early on that for the sake of their mental health, they can't really tell me what to do or what not to do, because I'm just going to do it anyway. So I don't know if that answers your question.
It's like, well, this is what you got. This is what you made me, and now you just have to deal with it.
I mean, it's sort of, yeah. I mean, I wasn't putting anyone in harm's way. It was something that I wanted to do. I was safe, you know. I don't know. I really do see stripping as a legitimate way to dance and make money. Totally. And if I didn't have that, I wouldn't have been able to do all the things that I've done. You know, go through law school, have a down payment for my Vancouver condo, put on my shows. I wouldn't be able to do that without stripping, or it would be very hard.
Yeah.
And I'd be even more broke.
Yeah, or it would take like a lot longer.
Exactly.
So, I mean, these things are attainable, guys. Just how much do you want to sacrifice?
And I see the stage, any stage, as sort of an extension of training.
Right.
So if I'm dancing somewhere new as a stripper, I use that to further my training goals.
As you should.
Yeah.
It's very physical. Right? I always think about it whenever I'm on stage. It's like, okay, this is my third workout of the day or something like that, because you're on stage for a long amount of time, like usually upwards of 20 minutes per show and stuff too, and using your whole body. Not only to do all these moves, but also to make it look graceful. And you are dancing in front of a crowd, so you want to be able to put on a good show and also, you know, make it look effortless and flawless and, you know, smooth.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yes, all the things.
So going back, I know you kind of went on a bit of a tangent there, but But it's really interesting, and another reason why I approached you is that you're doing aerial silks as a stripper, which I find is not very common. I don't see that very often, except for...
Yeah, because not a lot of clubs have rigging points.
Yeah, lack of rigging points, and also the height's an issue as well.
Yeah, I mean, you can still get a decent amount done on a low rigging point. I have my tiny hoop for that. I had a custom-made aerial spiral at one point. So there's things you can do to work around it. I just like it for a number of reasons. First of all, those are the types of shows that I want to put on. Like, I like circus arts. And it gives me a good excuse to take my shoes off.
Yay.
Because I know that pleasers are sort of part of the aesthetic, but I don't really like them. I just want to not wear shoes and be able to point my feet, really is what it is. It's
That's
just,
a real reason.
I'm just sick of having my feet in Barbie foot position forever, and I feel like my metatarsals are just constantly in protest. And I'm like, I just want to point my toes. So also that, and I just think it's really beautiful work.
But going back to your comment on rigging, I was speaking with another artist, Emily Sound. I think that was like episode 11 or something. But she did mention in a couple points that there aren't a lot of clubs that offer safe rigging, or it's just very sketchy, and that's why she doesn't want to. She wants to do that more, but it's sketchy as fuck, and she doesn't want to die.
Sometimes the pole is even sketchy.
Yes.
This is a thing where strip clubs, some places are better than others, but they just don't always prioritize the safety of their dancers, which is really unfortunate. So yeah, that's definitely a thing. And as an aerialist, your rigging is your life. You have to be sure that you're safe. But I mean, it's the same with the pole. I've worked at places where the pole is definitely not safe. Definitely not safe.
It's sketchy as fuck. I'm like, I guess I'll just do a bunch of floor work.
Yeah, exactly. I've worked at places where I rolled on broken glass in strip clubs.
God.
Having said that, though, I have also landed a jump in bare feet on broken glass when I was at a dance festival in Malaysia. So it's not just strip clubs that don't treat their dancers well, but strip clubs a lot of time do not treat their dancers well.
Right. Or the maintenance is just
non-existent.
Yeah. Not non-existent.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I worked at places where I've just brought in my own rubbing alcohol to clean things, and that's not uncommon.
Yeah,
really.
or my own like rag to wipe down the pole.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, I'm literally slipping down everywhere.
Yes.
Which is not fun.
Yes. Being at different clubs all the time, like being on the circuit, is challenging for those reasons, because you're not familiar with the stage, you're not familiar with the pole, the safety aspect, things like that.
So for when you're doing more aerial arts in the club, how did you approach them to be like, hey, I want to do this act, would this be okay?
Oh, I just bring it in.
You just bring it in.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do this.
The places I've worked at have been really good. If I book through an agency, I'll say I do aerial work. I'll say, can I bring my silks? And they'll know.
Yeah.
And then usually when you confirm the booking with the club, you can ask questions then and see what the ceiling height is like.
What the
And
setup is.
yeah, and anytime I'm at a new club, I go early and check it out. Like any performance. If it's a new venue and you have setup, you just go early to check it out.
How has that experience been? Because I just don't see many artists doing that here. I think it's just like the Granville Strip obviously has a height for that, but I don't.
Alberta's
see...
good.
Alberta's
good for, yeah.
And then you're leaving for Alberta soon, right?
I've been to Edmonton before. That's kind of where I used to work there when I was in school. And yeah, I'm going back there soon. Yeah.
Yay,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
Yay. So you were born and raised in Alberta then?
Born and raised in Vancouver, went to Edmonton for law school, came back to Vancouver for my article, and I have been here ever since. So that was maybe 5 years ago.
Okay, so you've been dancing and performing for a while now then.
As a stripper?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
I think it's almost 10 years-ish.
Oh gosh, wow.
Minus the year and a half that I took off for my article and to work as an associate, which I didn't strip for that period of time, but I went back right after.
You're like, and that's done.
Yeah,
and
I'm like,
back
cool.
to it.
Yeah.
That was nice.
There's a reason I did not get rid of my giant thing of stripper shit when I started my article.
I want to dive into the topic of law school and how that was, and also stripping for, I guess you funded school yourself then?
I got help. Yeah,
Okay.
I was fortunate. I had some help. I paid for some things myself. I had some support. I applied for, like, what do they call them? Bursaries?
Yeah.
Or whatever, yeah.
It was so long ago.
Free money, yeah. Yeah. The, like, please help me, I'm poor money. Yeah, that was good. I was fortunate. I mean, I was very fortunate.
Did you mainly get into stripping to fund your schooling, or as you
No.
said, because you just really wanted to do it? Seems like it's a long story.
It's not really a long story. It's just my life as it pertains to law is just sort of an afterthought. It's like a side note, you know? So when I finished my undergrad, which I did at SFU, which I absolutely loved, I didn't know what to do with my life. So I think it was around that time that I started stripping. It was while I was still in undergrad.
Okay.
And then I studied for the LSAT because I was like, you know what? Whatever. I'll just see what happens.
Just for shits and giggles.
Yes. Basically, yes. I applied to a bunch of schools. I was like, yeah, again, whatever, just see what happens. And I think I knew I wanted to go away. I was waitlisted for UVic, but I got into U of A, and the tuition at U of A at the time was more affordable. And I knew that the money in Alberta was really good for dancing. So that was sort of the perfect complement. You know, I could go there, strip, and then also just get a degree on the side. So my work in stripping did help me fund my school in that sense.
Okay.
But that's not why I did it.
More, I guess, almost like curiosity, or like, I don't know what to do, so I guess maybe I'll fall into this, or...
You know, honestly, I just got in and I was like, okay, I guess so.
I guess
this is sort of my life, is like, you know, an opportunity comes and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, we'll just see how it goes. And then I just take it. Yeah. Sometimes I think maybe I should put in a little bit more thought before I do these things, but also whatever.
YOLO.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm like, why agonize over, you know, what should I do? This or that, whatever, blah, 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 right? Yeah, it's like, I'm more of the type of person who's just like, oh, I'll just do it and figure it out later. So
far it's worked out, I think.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, maybe in an alternate universe I'm doing better, maybe not, whatever, right? So I try not to think about that. I'm just sort of like, oh, well, if there's this opportunity and I don't hate it, maybe I'll just do it and see what happens.
Did you study criminology at SFU?
No.
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 So, like, because it's a great school for criminology, because I went to SFU for criminology.
SFU is such a great university. It's just so, I just loved it so much.
Me
Yeah,
too.
it was so amazing. I think, you know what, now that we're talking about it, I think I was sort of chasing that high by going to law
Okay.
school, you know,
Yeah.
because I don't know why I didn't just do a master's. I think that would have been more in line with intellectually what I was looking for, but I guess I was stupid and I was like, oh, whatever, law school sounds like a great idea. No. Yeah, SFU was great. It was so fun.
What were you intellectually looking for? When you think about it
I
now.
just loved my undergrad so much.
What did you study?
So I did communications and biology. So the
What?
biology part
Okay.
was just fun because I thought I was going to work in conservation and save animals and stuff.
That's nice.
Didn't work out. But the communications part was just so fun for me. It was just like all this post-structuralism and like critical theory. And I was like, yes, this stuff. Yeah. There's this running joke within communication studies that for anyone who's studying that and in your first or second year, you reach a point where you're the most annoying person to watch anything with because you just like pick it all apart. So yeah, I was that person. It was amazing. And I had really great professors who just let me do whatever I wanted with papers and were so great with giving me different sources and forcing me to be better. It was just the best experience. So I think I was looking for more of that. More like, fuck the system. Even though you're still in an ivory tower setting, it's just, yeah, it's like, it's very interesting. A communications degree is very interesting in that sense.
And
but I
you
loved
do
it.
so much with that too, like so many different areas. Like a lot of my friends that studied communications went more so into marketing and PR and digital marketing and that whole way.
Yeah,
of
that was
things.
not my,
So I was like, I'm like, okay, no, this is not the way that she's going.
yeah, I know, not that at all.
So law school went, and you specialized in criminal law?
So at U of A, you just take all of their cajillion corporate-minded prerequisites or whatever to graduate. Which I think most law schools kind of have that.
In general.
So you don't really, at U of A, you don't specialize in criminal law to get your degree, but you can do things to tailor your degree to get what you want out of it. And that's something I think I would say that you should do regardless of what your degree is really make that experience your own rather than just jumping through hoops. You know, you're going to be there anyway, so you might as well study things that you care about.
Right. That you actually like.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think I worked for the student criminal law clinic in first year, and then, or I volunteered in first year, and then I worked for them over the summer, and I kind of already knew. I was like, okay, it's either going to be some like saving the animals stuff or it's going to be criminal defense. And then because the saving the animals stuff turned out to be really boring because it's just dealing with just like legislation, like, oh god, I was like, or maybe I just had a really bad experience in one of the classes I took. I don't know.
And just turned you off.
Yeah, I was just like, no, that's cool. I do think it's really important work though, but just perhaps not for me. Unless it's field work, you know, just like actually sitting in a plane counting how many cheetahs there are in like a grid, and then so that would be cool, but that's don't really need law school for that. You could just do it. But yeah, so I think after working for the student law clinic between first and second year, I was like, yeah, no, this is, if I continue in law, this is what I'm going to do.
Okay, that's really interesting. Is that like more because what aspect of criminal law do you like? I love criminal law. The nerd part of it is coming out. I'm like, criminal law is like,
honestly, it's just the only area that I care about, because you cannot get me to care about family law or business law. It's just like, I just don't care.
It can be pretty shy.
I just do not care. As a defense lawyer, you play, I don't know. I don't know. This is a good question because there's so many aspects to the answer.
You can answer it with many ways if you want. Like, it's really up to you.
You get the most client impact. Okay, go on.
No, good questions would be. Okay, like a good chunk of these questions are mine.
Okay.
All the law ones.
Okay, perfect.
So we'll get into that. We'll get into that after. But I just want to know, like, okay, now this is going off topic, but I just want to know. So, when you're defending someone that you know is guilty, is that difficult for you? No?
No, I don't care if they're guilty or not. Everyone is entitled to a fair trial.
Yes.
You know? What is the point of having rule of law? What is the point of having these courts if we're just going to be like, well, I know you're guilty, fuck you. And also, a lot of the time you have to look at the greater context of something, you know? I know this is not all the cases, but it's a lot of them. If you go to community court or 222 Main Street, the provincial court, do you think that these people actually want to be stealing toast from somewhere? You think that this person walked into Shoppers this morning and they fucking wanted to steal like $5 of cashew bars? No, it's because they're starving, right? Yeah. Why are they starving? Perhaps it's because society has failed them somewhere down the line. And it's really easy for people who have privilege to be like, oh, well, you need to take responsibility for your life, or, you know, everyone's blah blah, like you have free will.
Your own
like,
decisions.
You're responsible, blah blah.
Answer.
Like, okay, sure, there's some degree of that, but what are we as a society going to do about it? Just slap them with a criminal record and now they can never get a job because now they're tarnished?
And that cycle will
exactly. What you don't know what trauma this person has suffered. And you know, everyone has trauma, no one's perfect, and we all deal with it differently. But I just don't think that it's an appropriate response for people of privilege to judge people who are underprivileged by saying, oh, well, that's your fault, like you need to take responsibility, you know? So this is like a whole
yeah, this is great. And that's
it just really bothers me. It just really bothers me when people are like, oh, but what if he's guilty? And I'm like, well, what if they're really underprivileged and society already hates them from the moment they were born? They weren't given a fair chance. What about that?
This is exactly the response I was hoping for, because I was like, I know when people used to ask me that question when I was studying. I just wanted to see if we would get fired up, and you did.
Oh, 100%.
And it was so good.
This is the thing. This is the thing that gets all defense lawyers going, for sure, you know? Or, you know, anyone, defense lawyers or social workers, anything like that.
Yeah, because it's definitely like a lot of work in that field in Vancouver, and you can see it. Yes. I live on Hastings Street. You can see all the disparity that's out here. So I can really tell that you're really passionate about that. So
It just bothers me.
No, it's great. I think it's a good thing.
It's so great that you're like sitting here in your Yaletown loft with your $6 Starbucks and you're like, oh, well, I don't know why you felt like you need to break into a car, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but people do think like that often, more times than
I mean, I don't know. I live in Yaletown, not in a loft, and I buy $6 coffee, and I've lived quite a privileged life, but I don't think that. It's just, I don't know, man. Like,
So
check your privilege.
Yeah, check it. Well, one, it's check your privilege, and then two, I just feel like there's not a lot of people have the ability to empathize.
It's so infuriating.
Yeah, it's very
It's
frustrating.
infuriating.
So, are you still practicing criminal law then as a defense lawyer?
I take referrals from certain lawyers that I know, and I just do research for them. Or if they need help with something, I'll do that. But I don't take my own files anymore.
So you were doing that for a while after you graduated. For about how long?
I articled at a small defense firm, and after my article, or I guess during my article, they invited me to come back as an associate. And so I think the whole period of articling and being an associate lasted maybe a bit over a year and a half. I think partway through me working there as an associate, I just decided that I didn't want to be there anymore. So I quit. Yeah, exactly.
Is that more because of the nature of the job, or because you just want to spend more time on creative and being a dancer? Where did that come from?
A lot of different things. I just didn't feel like it was the best use of my energy and my time. Well, I knew it wasn't the best use of my energy or my time.
But I still feel like you're still doing that now as well. I guess on a very part-time or just
Yes.
as needed basis, which is really interesting. Okay, because there are a lot of questions, there's gonna be lots more of these questions.
Okay.
But the guys are seriously like so much. I keep scrolling. It's like out of control. This is the record so far. But I guess we'll go into some Q&A.
Okay.
So a couple of questions here. It wouldn't happen, but do you feel Canada should have the death penalty for first-degree
I
murder?
don't want to answer this question. Can we not?
You
Can we just
skip.
not?
You can skip that one. What are your thoughts on mandatory minimum sentences?
Oh my god.
There's a lot of these.
Okay.
There's a lot of, okay, so the questions is half and half. It's like half law-based and half...
What is this, like, ask the criminal defense lawyer day?
That's right.
Okay.
You can elaborate as much or as little as you'd like. There are a lot of questions.
Okay, mandatory minimum sentences. First of all, I just have to be really nitpicky, but you don't have to call them mandatory and minimum sentences. They're the same thing. If it's mandatory, then that's the minimum. And if it's the minimum, then that's mandatory. You don't have to be redundant. So that's really annoying. Also, it is unfortunate because it takes the discretion away from the court, the judges, and lawyers who have worked in the system for a long time. And you know what? Who are judges? They were lawyers too. So obviously they can assess what is a fair sentence. Why are we getting all these politicians who've never spent a day in court or worked with these people to be like, oh yeah, you know what? You did this. You should arbitrarily get this. It's just like, it's so stupid. Yeah. And you know, the thing is, people sometimes will say, you know, I'll give them an example of someone who is given a disproportionately unfair sentence, and someone's like, well, you know, that's like the exception. I'm like, yeah, that's the point. The whole point is to cater the sentence to the person. It's
Right.
an individualized process.
Yes.
You know? So the thing with these mandatory minimum sentences is that they do not allow for the exception. That's the whole point. Right. And in provinces like Alberta, they have sentencing guidelines and things like that. So case law that suggests, okay, so you have an offense that's sort of like this, you know, this is sort of the range you should be looking for, and then these are the mitigating factors. You know, just there's all these different things that both the Crown and the defense lawyer take into account, and then the court will put it all together and then decide
And distribute an appropriate sentence. That's
based
how it should be, right?
Yes. But then instead we have some people sitting from their whatever ivory tower or whatever you have it, churning out these completely arbitrary sentences that are supposed to just fit
One size fits
yeah,
all
like
kind of thing?
what that
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense to me. It's so ridiculous. I don't even I don't get it. Like, how does that even make sense?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense too. It would be really angry. So Great answer, though. Do you think restorative justice works versus punitive punishment?
Oh, God. This is just like... individualized process, guys. I don't maybe because of the type of person I am, punishing someone can take different forms. Because denunciation and deterrence are important, but it doesn't just mean like jail, because I think that's stupid, right? It's like, do you want this person who has been convicted or pled guilty to an offense, like what next? Because even if you send them to jail, they're probably going to come back into society. So you want them to be productive or not? Do you want to support them in doing that or not? I do think restorative justice, I think it should really be the default. Unfortunately, the way the system is now, there just are not those resources available. That's really sad.
It is really sad.
Yeah.
And that's a reality, guys.
Also, sorry, just one more thing.
But there's more.
It's just, and it's actually more expensive for the taxpayer to keep someone in jail, than put them on parole. Yeah, exactly. Than have them in the community. So yeah, you guys want tough on crime, throw them in jail, well then you're paying for it, whatever.
The model's not working though.
Of course not. Of course not.
It's been working for years.
Exactly. Yeah.
Anyways.
So as a defense lawyer, you kind of try to make little changes here and there. Maybe you can make it better for one client. Maybe you can, I don't know. It's hard though. It is hard.
It's a hard job to do. So those are my two questions.
I see. You just wanted to get my blood boiling.
Yes.
Success.
Now we're going to go into more questions. Well, the first question wasn't mine. That was somebody else's. But everything else is from everybody else.
Okay, let's hear it.
And you have some more people that study criminology here as well. So how can we solicit prostitution and be a prostitute without getting in trouble with the law?
God, I don't want to know. Just can we skip this one? This is like getting into like legal advice, and it's just the whole no.
These next ones might be considered the same, but
okay, these are things that you can research too, right? Like you can also anyway.
It's Ask a Lawyer Day apparently.
No.
Anything you want to skip, just let me know.
Okay.
But I guess sites like Seeking Arrangement, are you
I wish I wish I could. I just do not have the emotional labor to care. Having said that, though, if anybody wants to give me money for, I don't know, whatever you want, send me your offers now.
Send some PayPal to Jennifer. Thanks.
Yes. So, open call. Just, you come to me.
She's taking offers, guys.
How much money will you give me? What do you want in return? I'll review it and let you know.
That's kind of like Seeking Arrangement.
Yeah, but then they'll message and be like,
It's just a lot of work. But this person was asking, can Seeking Arrangement stuff be considered...
Skip.
How can we screen clients and Johns to make sure they aren't cops?
Well, you can't really know for sure. A good undercover will can we just skip this one too? Because look, there's a lot of things that you can do to ensure your safety, and if you are fortunate, you will have a good support network. I know not everyone is lucky enough to have that, but there are people hopefully in your life who will be able to help you with that, and don't be afraid of reaching out to other sex workers.
Does your lawyer life know about your stripper life?
Yeah, everyone knows.
Yes. Yeah, because you're pretty transparent about it.
It's not a secret, guys.
No. So I guess here's a two-part question. Then I guess, do you keep the two worlds separate? No. Right.
I mean, they kind of are separate because they don't.
Different industries.
Yeah.
They don't ever touch.
Yeah.
In that sense. Yeah.
I mean, they don't. Yeah. I mean, I don't try to keep them separate. Yeah.
They just are polar opposite.
They just Yeah.
How do you manage your time doing all the badass, awesome things that you do?
Aww. I don't. Honestly, I don't really. I have lists. So every week I have a list of things that I want to get done. Every day I have a list of things I want to get done. And I have longer term lists. I just think that life is a never ending series of lists that go through and crush it off. But I mean, how do I manage my... honestly, I just barely do really.
You're managing to stay afloat.
I mean, I don't know. That's giving me a lot of credit where I don't really think I deserve it. So, yeah.
You deserve it. You're doing a lot. You're dropping a lot. So
I guess, but sometimes I don't, you know?
We have your days. We're all human. Aerial Silks, where can you take beginner lessons?
Well, there are a few studios. Tantra Fitness in Vancouver, Circus West. There's also a really great studio in Mission called Triumph Acrobatics.
Yeah, Jen,
Yes.
hi. Sorry.
Yes. Oh, does she listen to this?
I don't know if she does, but
Hi.
hi.
I love her. She actually taught me when I was starting to learn. Yeah,
Wow,
her and Alex. Yeah,
Oh,
are really
yes.
great. I teach at Triumph, or I will be in January.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, so
Adding to your list of
you can
And
take
addictions.
classes there.
Yes.
I've also heard Vancouver Circus School is good. I haven't taken classes there though.
Right, I think they have 2 locations, guys. I think there's New West and North Van.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was one of the first circus schools back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if Underground Circus, I don't know if
I've
they
never
have-
been there.
I've been there, but I don't know if they, I would assume that they do, but I never looked. I was just there for rehearsal for some show that I was in. But lots of places, guys. Lots and lots of places. Do you think at first law school would end your career as a stripper? I think the answer there is no.
Okay. I'll trust you.
Did you decide after practicing full time that stripping was better? I think you always knew that stripping was better.
It's not
In
like it's
different
better,
ways. Yeah,
guys.
they're
It's not
different.
like I'm choosing one over the other. Well, I guess kind of I am. They're just different.
At what point did you decide on getting boobs? Have you had any problems?
Oh
with
man,
said
this is actually a
boobs?
really good story.
Oh.
I love this question. So, do you guys remember when when Britney Spears came out with her first song, Hit Me Baby One More Time and Crazy?
Yes.
So, at some point in between, people speculated over whether she got boobs, this and that, blah, 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 and there was this whole big debate. Everyone was just completely obsessed with that. Meanwhile, me being like, holy shit, you can do that? And because I looked at my mom, looked at my grandma, and I was like, oh, fuck, it's not going to happen for me. So I knew. That was when I knew. I was like, I'm getting boobs. So, and then I did. They're really small implants, though. They're not, because at the time I was still doing Chinese dance and all those other more traditional styles of dance and not stripping yet. So, which is actually an important theme that I explored in my piece, Strip Her, for Shooting Gallery last year. Yeah.
What is this? Wait, explain?
So
Elaborate.
the company Future Leisure, do you know Julie Chappell?
Yeah.
So Future Leisure puts on Shooting Gallery performance series twice a year. It's actually coming up in November this week.
Oh,
it's
my
this
God.
week. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know if it's gonna. Yeah.
We'll be
Yeah,
in January.
I know. Yeah. I know. Anyway, so it's twice a year. And then last year in the spring, I did a piece and it was chosen for the series, and it was called Strip Her, and it explored the judgments that dancers face both inside and outside of the stripping world.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have a video of the performance or anything like that?
I do, yes. I have a Dropbox link.
Okay. If anyone wants to see it, I'm sure they can bug you for it.
Yeah, it was really
Sounds
great.
cool.
It was a really great piece. It was a contemporary dance piece, and I used music from a local artist,
Oh, wow.
and I got my brother and my friend to record voiceovers that were interspersed in the music.
Wow.
And it was the soloist, who was me, did this whole transformation from ballet dancer to stripper, and there are these voiceovers going on. And I thought it was really powerful, even if it's just for myself. But yeah.
I'm going to ask you for that video later.
Okay. I'll send it to you.
Dropbox link.
Okay, cool.
I guess, second part of the question, have you had any problems with said boobs?
I have not, but I got mine before I was stripping.
Okay.
So mine are under the muscle. I think if I were to do it again, not again, I guess if I were to do it today, not having had the surgery, I probably would maybe over the muscle. I don't know.
What's the difference between under the muscle or over the muscle?
It's just the placement of the implant. But I mean, I'm happy with them, so
No
yeah, I
said
don't.
problems with
No,
said boobs.
you just have to massage and stretch out and stuff and do the rehab. But because I wasn't stripping at the time, I think I had a pretty easy recovery.
Yay.
Yeah.
I guess this question doesn't really apply, but do you have staff at your law business? No.
I don't have an office.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, no.
And also, as a defense lawyer, I did not have staff. So after I worked at that firm for a year and a half, I went out on my own for maybe half a year to a year, where I was still working as a defense lawyer, taking my own files, but in my own office. And at that time, I had staff because I shared the office with other lawyers, and it was mostly their staff. Okay. But because it was just me as a sole practitioner, I just did not find that it would be worthwhile to have staff, because as a defense lawyer, you do most of your own research anyway, so it's not like you can delegate to anyone else. And then it's like, I take all my own client meetings, I schedule all my own things, so like
this kind of like really
yeah, it would take me more effort to explain to someone how to do something and then pay them for it, when I could have just done it myself.
Yourself.
Yeah.
How has stripping affected your dating life?
I'll just skip this question.
Next.
I hate questions like that. Like, I don't know, how has your life affected your dating life? Like, just
it's just life.
How are you as a person? Like, yeah.
I guess you might want to skip this question too. Do you emphasize your stripper or law identity more when dating?
Oh my gosh, skip this question. I don't emphasize like either. I'm just a person.
You're just you, right?
Yeah.
Do you find people fetishize you as a good girl gone bad or anything like that?
Oh, there's so many fetishes. It's so entertaining to me. I don't know if it's like a good girl gone bad thing. I don't know. That's an interesting one. Mm-hmm. But there's definitely a lot of that.
In this industry.
In anywhere, actually. I mean, we can talk about this all day, but my personal experiences have been, I've faced more misogyny in law than as a stripper, personally. I felt more empowered to deal with it as a stripper than as a lawyer, I think.
Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, I was going to. I was like, that was an awful answer.
No, that's okay. No, I said we get so much from this answer. Just curious what your response
is. As a lawyer, in situations where I've been faced with blatant misogyny or a backhanded comment or mansplaining or something like that.
Yeah, along those lines.
Microaggressions, anything. It does not really serve me to talk back. So a lot of the time in those situations, not all the time, but most of the time, I would just not say anything. I would just take it and then be annoyed at it later. As a stripper, it's completely different. I mean, I have told men off so many times, and sometimes in a mean way, sometimes in a
educative way.
Yeah, totally, a principle way or something like that. And I feel like you're more empowered and able to fulfill the role of an educator as a stripper, and you are more able to engage in the re-education of the patriarchy as a stripper than as a female lawyer. And I do think that the misogyny in law for me has been worse, actually. Way worse.
Examples? Or just, I guess, some things that you had mentioned.
My favorite example, which I have told this story many times because it is my favorite. I was in the Supreme Court of British Columbia, and I was there for just a very simple docket appearance, which is basically you show up, you're like, hey, we're not ready to go yet, can we get a couple weeks? But it's like way more formal.
Yeah.
So that's the gist. Like, it wasn't, whatever. Anyway, so at the time there were other lawyers there dealing with their matters, and I was wearing what you would typically wear for a docket appearance. So because it's not a serious appearance, you don't have to wear the robes. So I was just wearing, a suit, like skirt, blazer with, I don't know, whatever shirt, and then I had these shoes that were maybe an inch of heel, suede Mary Jane straps.
Okay.
So I do this appearance. I notice that there's senior lawyers whispering behind me, not uncommon, whatever.
Okay.
And then I hear through a colleague that what had actually happened was, while I was doing my docket appearance, a senior male lawyer had leaned over to another male lawyer while I was speaking in court and said, hey, she's wearing fuck me shoes.
Oh my god. Are you fucking
I'm a
serious?
stripper. I know that those are not fuck me shoes.
Those are
100% they're not fuck me shoes.
Are you kidding me? Wow.
Yeah.
And that's kind of common too, with like just stupid comments like that.
That's really disrespectful.
That's
That's so disrespectful. Not even just to me, like I don't care, but to women as a whole and to the court. You're a senior defense lawyer. What are you doing? Like fuck.
But good story though.
It's an excellent story. I love that story.
Thank you for sharing. Did you get into circus or pole first. It was pole first before circus. And did you say ballet when you were younger? The answer
Yes.
is yes. So, wow.
Cool.
Oh my god, we got through all of them.
Yay.
I'm so impressed. Yay! We did it. Well, that was a super informative and fun podcast episode today. I'm sorry for all the legal stuff and all the law.
But those were the questions.
But those were the questions that we were given. I just read them out. So I guess a lot of people just wanted to know. But before we let you go, though, do you want to talk about where we can find you?
Oh, you can find me on Instagram. All my things are in Instagram. You can find my classes there. You can find, where I'm teaching, where I'm performing, my upcoming art projects.
What's your Instagram handle?
It's just my name, Jennifer Summer Ashley. Yeah. I also have another podcast that you guys can check out. It's called Strippers with Anxiety.
Oh, yeah. No, let's speak about that, too.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That wasn't in my notes. Bad. Okay, Strippers with Anxiety, which is great. Guys, you gotta be able to listen to it. It's so funny.
It's not, I can't take credit for it. It actually came about as a result of my other stripper sisters talking. I just made the Anchor account.
There we go.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what is Strippers with Anxiety.
It's just a really fun for us, way of getting our stories out there. We just basically press record whenever we're in the change room or sometimes in my car, and we just talk about random shit.
Guys, give it a listen. Make sure you follow that, rate it, and like it. And is there anywhere else we can find you? Do you have any other upcoming projects? You mentioned you will be working on a show in the springtime, and then obviously
I haven't
summer.
Super announced it yet, so
okay, never mind.
I mean, no, we can, it's everything is on my Instagram, so I think that's the best way
to keep in touch.
To keep in touch, to see what I'm up to. Yeah. Also sign up for my OnlyFans.
OnlyFans!
If you were a man and you want me to DM you, sign up for my OnlyFans, because otherwise I'm probably not going to respond. And what else? Oh yeah, I do lash lifts now, so anyone who wants a lash lift, let me know.
There we go. All-time hustler.
Or if anybody wants me to come hang out with their animals, let me know.
Yay! I'm sorry I don't have animals. I just have fake ones. That's all. But and lots of shoes on my bookshelf, and yeah.
I love your shoe collection.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have many, and there are a couple missing from there because it doesn't fit on my thing. But
I actually got rid of so much stuff because I thought I was moving
to Alberta. Or
no, I thought I was moving to California.
Oh, whoa.
But anyway, I'm not.
What's that story?
It doesn't know. I just thought I was moving and then it didn't happen. So yeah, in the process of getting ready for my move, I got rid of so much crap. And it felt good to get rid of it.
Yeah,
but
it's very cathartic.
Yes, so cathartic. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's the best. Something that all strippers and sex workers and shift workers will understand is dropping your shit off and doing random errands at 4 a.m. So I can't tell you how many times I've driven to Value Village at 4:30 a.m. with bags of crap because that's the only time that it's ready. And so whoever works at Valley Village, I'm sorry for doing that. Thank you for sorting through all my crap. Yeah.
At least it's going to someone like a good home, hopefully.
Yeah, I've given people some, because people will sometimes be there at that time, and I've given people stuff when I see them. Yeah.
Which is great.
I gave someone a jacket there. He was like, oh, do you have... I was like, what are you looking for? He's like, oh, just warm clothes. I'm like, I have a jacket, but it won't fit you. He's like, oh, my wife's around here. I'm like, oh, take it. I don't want it.
Yeah, please, take it.
Yeah.
I know, I live down the street from Valley Village, too, so it's just
that's right,
It's just, dropping shit off. It is a holiday season. Well, actually, it won't be the holiday season when this episode comes out, but... Anyways, it was so nice to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me. Yay. That was so great.
Sorry for all the rambling and all the...
Oh, that's my whole life is just a giant rambling session, really.
Hope you guys are still listening at this point, but...
Thanks for listening.
Thanks, guys, and that's another episode wrapping up for Strip by Sia. Don't forget to like, rate, subscribe, and follow. Instagram, it is Strip by Sia, and my personal Sia stuff, and we'll catch you guys again next week, and we're gonna get out of here because I'm hungry now. Bye, guys.
Bye.